Welcome to your weekend weather update from the Met Office. If you are watching on YouTube, please do hit subscribe. We're close to 400,000 and we'd like to reach that number as soon as we can. As for the weather, it is going to be a messy mix. There will be some rain around, and because the ground is saturated, that could cause some further problems. The reason it's been so wet, well, the bigger picture shows low pressure close by to the UK. That's not what you want to see if you're after something a little drier. The main driving force behind all the wet weather, the jet stream, that fast-moving ribbon of air high up in the atmosphere, is a little further south, and it's got more low pressure systems waiting to head our way into next week. But for the time being, the jet stream's drifting a little further south and detaching itself from this low pressure, which whilst it will bring some heavy rain on Friday, potentially causing some more problems, into the weekend it is kind of weakening. The isobars are opening up, still potentially quite gusty along the south coast especially, and yes, there will still be some rain from it, particularly across parts of the south, and especially it looks like the southeast, but perhaps turning a bit drier for Wales and the southwest through the day on Saturday. The breeze feeding in cloud and showery rain into eastern Scotland and northeast England, so very damp and drizzly here. There'll be maybe a little bit more snow over the tops of the hills, but for much of western Scotland, good part of Northern Ireland and northwest England, most of the day probably dry, but yes, still staying fairly cloudy. A lot of cloud and gloom around then, so that's going to keep the temperatures down close to the average, but feeling cooler with the breeze coming in from the North Sea, and feeling cooler in the south as well, where the rain likely to continue well into the afternoon across the southeast. That low pressure, though, continues to dissipate or fill, as we say, as we head into Sunday. Another weak weather front tries to move in, but Sunday overall looking like a largely dry day. Still enough of a breeze to feed thicker cloud and some drizzly rain at times into the east coast of Scotland and the far northeast of England. And that weakening weather front may bring some showery rain to the Western Isles and perhaps for a time over Northern Ireland. But a good chunk of England and Wales looking dry on Sunday, certainly looking like a drier day across much of the south. And it might even brighten up in a few places, a few glimmers of blue sky here and there. But overall, quite a grey weekend. There'll be some mist and low cloud through the nights, which may be slow to clear during the day as well. And so again, without much sunshine to lift the temperatures, we're looking at about average, maybe a degree or so higher in places, but 7 to 10 degrees Celsius kind of sums things up. And yes, there is more wet weather to come as we head into next week. For more on that, you want to keep up to date with the weather warnings on the Met Office website. And as I said at the start, if you're watching on YouTube, why not hit subscribe?